Foldable smartphones have been around since February of 2020. Since then, we've documented how the hinge mechanisms work and how the display technology of foldables are nowhere near the rigidity of a normal handset. Case in point, that annoying crease that foldable users seem to just pretend isn't there to justify the overall cool factor of their expensive folding screens. Now, in 2023, with the smell of competition strong in the air, most of these concerns seem to slowly be ironed out in general with each foldable release. I mean, sure, they still aren't as affordable as their non-folding contemporaries, but the charm of a folding display has certainly attracted many smartphone users and prompted them to buy into the novelty. OPPO is trying to address all these concerns and flex their R&D muscles with the release of the Find N2 Flip. Let's dive in. The Find N2 Flip looks and works like your typical clamshell folding smartphone. It folds vertically in the middle with a hinge design that supports the bendable display on the inside. Once you unfold the device, it looks and feels like any other non-folding smartphone. Unfolded, it's actually very thin at 7.45 millimeters. Folded closed, it goes to 16.02 millimeters, which is pretty typical for a foldable smartphone. And at a weight of 191 grams, it isn't too cumbersome to carry either. From the outside, we can find a large cover screen with a pair of rear-facing cameras and the dual-tone LED flash next to it. The volume rocker and power button that doubles as a fingerprint scanner can be found on the right side. Noise-canceling mic and 1 out of 2 stereo speakers up top, USB-C charging port, and 2 out of 2 stereo speakers and the dual SIM card tray at the bottom. The Find N2 Flip can be folded at angles between 45 to 110 degrees, which allows you to use the phone in a sitting or freestanding position. OPPO refers to this as the Flex 4 mode. This opens up a lot of possibilities, from watching content to taking photos or shooting videos like a camcorder. No need for a tripod or a selfie stick for handheld shooting. The flexion hinge is engineered so elegantly that you don't even see a gap between the display when the phone is folded. It offers just the right amount of flex and firmness so users can adjust their fold to an angle of their liking. OPPO has also tested the hinge to be able to withstand up to 400,000 folds. To put that into context, if you fold and unfold your device about 100 times a day, it will take you almost 11 years before that hinge finally gives up. Overall, the Find N2 Flip has a pretty solid design. The thin profile and form factor is just about right, although it can be a little bit cumbersome to use with one hand for some users here in the office. Not a problem for me. For display, folded, the Find N2 Flip features a 3.26-inch cover screen, which is the biggest in its category. While it is limited to about 5 swipeable windows, the cover screen is used to provide a quick glimpse of your phone's most frequent functions. Most of the time, notifications and updates will be viewed through the cover screen, and you even have the ability to reply to text messages with templated responses you can customize. Our most frequently used function here is the camera. You can take photos, selfies, and videos right from the cover screen, which means we get to use the main cameras when doing so. Users also get the ability to preview and delete their shots directly from the cover screen. What's sort of missing here is the ability to watch media from the cover screen. We hope that in a future update, we can get the ability to watch YouTube and TikTok videos from the screen, cause why not? Unfolded, you get a massive 6.8-inch AMOLED screen with a Full HD Plus resolution. It is on the slightly larger side, but if you're somebody used to plus-sized smartphones, this should feel familiar. The screen is vibrant, bright with great contrast and saturation. You don't see the crease of the fold from viewing distance, but will certainly feel it with your fingers when you swipe over it. The display normally operates at around 500 nits, but peak brightness can go up to 1200 nits and maxes out to 1600 nits with adaptive brightness turned on. Both the cover screen and the main display have a maximum refresh rate of 120Hz that can be set down to 60Hz if you don't care about high refresh rates. That would be the most power efficient option, but there is an adaptive refresh rate setting if you want the best of both worlds. The main display is still made with a combination of ultra-thin glass and plastic to make it flexible, while the cover screen is protected by Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. To be completely honest, we had very little screen time playing games on the Find N2 Flip, due to the fear of ruining that main display like we did with our Galaxy Z Flip 3 before. For biometrics and security, the device uses a side-mounted fingerprint sensor that is integrated into the power button. This is the best approach, since you will also need the same sensor for unlocking the cover screen while it's folded. Otherwise, you can also enable the facial recognition to automatically unlock the device right after you unfold it. With stereo speakers strategically positioned at the top and bottom ends of the phone, users get a good balance of sound for music playback. Volume is also loud enough when watching YouTube or Netflix movies from any personal viewing distance. Overall, it's pretty good performance in the sound department, but nothing to be too excited about. There's no 3.5mm audio jack for earphones and exterior mics, but you can still use the USB-C port with an adapter for that. The problem is that there's no Type-C to 3.5mm adapter included in the box, so take note of that. For cameras, the Find N2 Flip only features two rear cameras, a 50MP main sensor and an 8MP ultrawide. It might not be much, but considering that the N2 Flip is a very slim foldable, there isn't much room for a huge camera module. Hence, the main and wide-angle camera are the best decisions in our opinion. Nevertheless, the photos taken by both cameras look really good in our experience, all thanks to that Sony IMX890 sensor. The ultra-wide sensor is a Sony IMX355 sensor with an aperture of f2.2 and a 112-degree field of view. Check out our sample shots from Camp Netanya in Mabini, Batangas. Photos are very crisp with a lot of detail, pretty good contrast and high dynamic range even with the high noon sun across the vast seascape. OPPO managed to get all these great results from the combination of high-resolution sensors, an in-house Mari Silicone X NPU, and a partnership with Hasselblad. If there's one thing that's probably missing, it's optical image stabilization on the main camera sensor. So you'd most probably get shaky videos shooting handheld gung-ho. Speaking of videos, recording capability goes up to 4K at 30 frames per second, which isn't that impressive, but the lack of 8K or 4K at 60 frames per second video is somewhat compensated for great optics. Like I mentioned earlier, the Find N2 Flip can be folded for shooting. We had a very easy time shooting this time-lapse by doing just that. The same can be done when using the selfie camera. The feature will definitely be useful for video calls on Skype and Zoom and TikToks. The in-display camera uses a 32MP Sony IMX709 sensor with video recording that maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Shots are decent to very good, especially in well-lit environments, but degrades pretty quickly under low lighting conditions. The redeeming feature here is that, again, the rear camera can easily be used for selfies and the like, so we rarely find ourselves using the front-facing camera in the first place. For software, the Find N2 Flip runs on Android 13 skinned with ColorOS 13 on top. For first-time users, you can get a little disoriented with gesture controls and navigation, so the best option for you starters would be the drawer mode. Between the standard mode and the old drawer mode, I prefer the latter. There are a lot of customization here from widgets, layout, icons, transitions, and more. Do note that some navigation features are only available when you're on gesture mode. Even the cover screen has a simple user interface with 5 windows: camera, weather, calendar, timer, and messages. You can quickly access and manage these features right from the screen. It's kinda weird that Spotify is supported on the cover screen via a floating media player, but the native music app is not. There's also a nice feature that allows you to record a video with the front-facing camera when running a screen recording. This could be nice for mobile gaming content creators wanting to do a screen recording of the game they're playing while commentating. Powering the Find N2 Flip is a MediaTek Dimensity 9000 Plus chipset that features a Mali G710 MC10 GPU. This is MediaTek's most powerful and efficient chipset to date. It's paired with 8GB of LPDDR5 RAM with an additional 8GB of RAM extension and 256GB of UFS 3.1 internal storage. No microSD card expansion here. This is a pretty good hardware combo, and users will definitely get a very smooth experience when running multiple apps or playing games. For those interested in benchmark scores, they should be on screen now. The Find N2 Flip is compatible with all connectivity options we'd expect from a flagship phone: dual 5G, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth, NFC, and GPS. With a combined 4,300 mAh battery, the Find N2 Flip carries the largest in any flip smartphone in the market today. Expect a full day's worth of battery life on a single charge with moderate to heavy use. This is based on our normal usage of the device in the past 4 weeks, but that could slightly change depending on your usage behavior. In our PC Mark Work 3.0 battery tests, with the device at 50% brightness, 0% volume, and in airplane mode, the Find N2 Flip clocked in at 14 hours and 40 minutes. That's more or less an above-average score compared to several other smartphones in this class, and way better than the performance we got from the Galaxy Z Flip 4 that only got a little over 10.5 hours in the same test. The box comes with a 44-watt SuperBook 2.0 flash charger, and claims up to 50% battery in 23 minutes. Not the fastest, but definitely a welcomed addition. In conclusion, while foldable phones might not be everybody's cup of tea, those who appreciate the style and novelty of a flip phone will definitely love the OPPO Find N2 Flip. It's a versatile device with great hardware and a very good camera. And for a foldable phone, it offers more than what we'd expect from this category. The Find N2 Flip is by no means perfect, but OPPO has definitely shown us it can push the boundaries of what foldable phones can offer, and at a much more reasonable price too. The OPPO Find N2 Flip is available today with a suggested retail price of 49,999 pesos. So, what do you guys think of the OPPO Find N2 Flip? Let us know in the comment section below. I personally like that novelty where I can like flip at like those Motorola razors from before. I love that. I can't do that with the Samsung Z Fold 3, Z Flip 3, but yeah, do this, right? That's so awesome. Anyways, if you found this video enjoyable or interesting, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon to get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit geekatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been Miguel, and this has been the OPPO Find N2 Flip. And we'll see you, or I will see you, on the next one.